everybody, good afternoon. I am so excited to be with you today in this Facebook Live because today we're talking about cybersecurity and does it matter for you and your business. So for those of you who don't know me very well, I'm Janice Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf, and today I have two of my friends with me, David Thompson with TeamLogic, and then I also have Sally and Nichols with Nichols Insurance. So we're gonna get started. Okay, David.
Yes.
Why should I care as a small business owner about cybersecurity?
So as a small business owner, you're holding data, not only your own information that your company holds close and true, but if you have any employees, you're holding their data, social security numbers, and then you're also holding client information likely as well. All of that information has value to it. So knowing about cybersecurity and how to protect yourself, how to protect your data, how to protect your networks is very important because there's value to that, value for your business. And if anything should happen to that, that can affect your business and it could cost the business and you might even lose your business.
So I'm going to actually add in another question, and you know the answer. Because, okay, I'm a small business owner of one. And I have friends who have small businesses of 4 to 6 to 10 employees. Does it matter? Like, do I really need to be worried about this cybersecurity?
Yeah, so that's an excellent point. The small and the micro businesses need to worry about it as well, and not always from their own perspective, but who they're connected to.
Okay.
Right? So you might be a small business. Hey, I don't have a lot of confidential data. I don't have a lot of information about my clients. I don't have any what's called personal identifiable information that could have value in and of itself. But if your systems get hacked and then your systems are used to connect into your client systems that might have that valuable data or could be leveraged somehow to get to other people that do have valuable data, then you're really just trying to help protect the entire ecosystem.
Nice. Okay, that's good. Good to know. Okay, so what is the cost of a breach, though? Someone does get into your system. What does that cost?
Yeah, so there's a lot of costs that are associated with the breach. There's the cost for recovery, and if it does turn out that you do have some of this personal identifiable information on your systems, you have to report that to the state. And then there's costs associated with informing people that did have their data breached, and then the protections that you need to provide those people as well. So I would say as a bare minimum, it's about a $10,000 cost, and that's on the extreme low end for those items. But it's really typically it's more in the multiple tens of thousands on average, and it can approach hundreds of thousands.
Holy, okay, that's a lot.
Just for small businesses, right?
Oh my God.
Millions of dollars for larger
For the
businesses, for enterprises.
Because I think a lot of times we think of these security breaches as this is what happens to large corporations, the big banks, just big tech companies and that kind of thing. However, this stuff can actually happen to, unfortunately, us smaller business owners, which is kind of sad. Okay, so I was just talking to David about the cloud and how generic this is. I think of the cloud as like big puffy white things in the sky. And so are we protected when our stuff is in the quote unquote cloud?
Okay. And yeah, in regards to the cloud, that gets used as a generic term. And I'm going to use it as a generic term. There is a specific definition to cloud, but generically it just means the data is not always on your own local system. So it's off site somewhere, whether it's a hosted system, a cloud service, a hosted service. There's a variety of things. And that is not always a protection. Just because your information is with Google or with Microsoft, it doesn't mean that it's protected. What those systems promise you is that they won't go down. So if you're using Office 365 and you're using OneDrive to store your data, Microsoft is promising that whenever you want to access OneDrive, it's available. But they're not promising that your data on OneDrive is protected.
I use that.
But they do provide systems and services to protect your data, but it's your responsibility to turn on those systems and those services and to use OneDrive responsibly.
Okay, so he's going to teach me when we're finished how to do that, because I have that service and I don't know how to do that or have any idea if I'm actually protected. So I'll find out. Okay, so what can we do? That's a big question. What can we do?
So there's some basic things that you can do, and then we're going to also transition and talk about insurance as well. So in general, the analogy is a vehicle, right? So the car is the systems and the data. Someone else is building that. We're like a mechanic that's making sure that your car is safe, that your brakes are working, that the turn signals are operating correctly, and we're constantly monitoring and maintaining that so that functionally that car is operating as securely and efficiently as possible.
Okay.
Sally Ann, when we get to her, we'll talk about the seatbelt, right? We're not getting in accidents every day, but if we get into an accident either because of our own fault or somebody else's fault, that seatbelt is going to provide that safety, and that's what the insurance is. So on the mechanical side, I'll just see if we can display this.
Yep.
And then you'll have
It'll
a
be
couple of
backwards,
things that
but-
you can look at and flip it over lately. So key number one, be educated. So I've provided a YouTube link.
Okay.
There's a lot of great education out there, but one YouTube link is for Sophos Labs. Sophos is an endpoint security service.
So what we'll
be
do is
educated.
actually, let's post that link in the comments.
Perfect.
When we're finished, so that way people can get in and they can check out the link, the YouTube video.
And so the education is, how can you recognize hacking? How can you recognize potential social engineering that's happening?
Okay.
And how can you employ automation, if you will, to protect your systems?
Okay.
So really helpful information there. Keep your operating systems update and your applications updated. Also know quickly that Windows 7 is going end of life, January 2020, so the beginning of next year, and that those security patches and updates will no longer occur. So consider changing from Windows 7 to at least Windows 8, but Windows 10 is even better.
Okay, cool.
Make sure your phone's patched, right? A phone is not a safe harbor. It needs to be attended to as well. Install effective endpoint protection. So that would be antivirus protection. Windows 10 has got some really good built-in stuff, so you can rely on that. Just make sure it's turned on. Or you can go to something third-party, again, like a Sophos.
Okay, cool.
Quickly, using a VPN service, if you're using Wi-Fi, you can go to applications, just do VPN service as an internet search and sign up for those. And then finally, if you are using a password keeper, make sure that you're using a two-factor authentication. So anytime you're accessing that password keeper, you get one more notice that might be texted to you, or a phone call will come through with some additional codes to unlock that service.
Cool, very good. Okay, so besides just the cybersecurity, there's things that you can do. So I want to introduce Sally Ann Nichols with Nichols Insurance. So, okay, Sally Ann, what is cyber liability insurance?
Cyber is basically shifting the risk. Most of us can't afford to put away thousands and thousands of dollars in a nest egg in case of a breach. So we shift that risk and we get a cyber policy. And believe me, it's very cost effective. It's not a burden of expenses. And what this policy does is it actually protects you against first party claims. That would be me. If I was hacked, I'm the first party. Then third party would be, oh my gosh, my secretary sent an email out to one of my manufacturing risk, and now my manufacturing risk cannot do business because it was infiltrated with malware.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, cyber liability, what it does is it pays for the expense. Now, for example, when Dave was saying that it's a cost involved with that private information, the insurance companies have come up with approximately $160 per client or per file. So, times that by how many clients you have,
Yeah.
and you know pretty much what the expense is going to be for notifying your clients,
Yeah.
getting them the protection that they need. You've got to have identity theft, you've got to have credit monitoring. It's huge. It's a huge expense. Something else that's, most of us think, oh, well, I'm just a small business person, which I am, but 55% of all of our claims are coming from the small business community.
Oh, wow.
We only hear about the large claims, the big, large companies, and that's who the news media grabs a hold of.
Right.
But it is affordable for us. And
Oh, good.
after, what Dave does, the application is a living entity within the policy. So when you fill out an application for cyber liability, who's your IT person? Do you have firewalls?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that Dave does. Now, if they're not in compliance, they will not get the cyber, or it will default.
Okay.
Very important to know. The application is the truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay. So, do they ever catch these bad guys?
The forensic part of cyber liability is huge. They want to, and they don't care if that claim is only $50,000 or $500,000. They will come in. They have forensic investigators. They want to nab these people. Unfortunately, a lot of them are coming from overseas. So it's difficult.
It's hard. I'm sure it's very hard. Okay, so why should a small business have the cyber liability? Just peace of mind.
Okay.
And saving money.
For my personally, my main reason would be my loss of income. I cannot do business in my agency if my computers are not running consistently.
Yep.
I have my client file data. I've got my accounting. If that is down, I'm out of business.
Gotcha.
With a cyber liability policy, they pay business interruption. That's my income. So they're going to pay me while I'm down, which gives them incentive to get in there, fix it, get the bad guys.
Yep.
It's all because at the end of the day, in California, it is a law that you have to notify each and every client if there has been a breach.
Yikes. Okay. So, everybody, I'm going to have Sally Ann and David post their information in the comments. So that way, if you want more information, you're able to contact them. David's also going to post that YouTube video in there. So if you want more information about, what was it called?
Just Sophos Labs. It's
Sophos.
one place to go where they've got selected training that is
There we
very
go.
helpful.
So you can go watch that. So if you have any questions, feel free to post in the comments. Thank you all who have gotten on. Thank you very much. And everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.